The Constitution is considered a living document. One of the ways that it is living is that it can be changed. An amendment is a change to the Constitution. The first 10 amendments are called the Bill of Rights. Many states were concerned that the Constitution was not going to protect the rights of the citizens, and they said that there must be a Bill of Rights in order for them to agree to the Constitution. The First Amendment protects liberties and freedoms we're all familiar with, such as the freedom of speech, the freedom of religion or to worship freely, the freedom of the press or the news to report what's going on in the government, the freedom of assembly or to gather in groups, and the freedom to petition or request action from the government. The Second Amendment protects the right to bear arms. The Third Amendment is that Congress cannot force citizens to house troops in their homes. And the Fourth Amendment protects Americans from unlawful searches and seizures. Law enforcement must have a warrant, although there are exceptions to that. People cannot be forced to incriminate themselves. You have the right to remain silent, which is your Miranda rights, and to plead the Fifth or to refuse to testify under oath. So you have to think about what the British were requiring of the colonists and how the colonists felt like the British were taking advantage of them. And these are some of the rights that they had protected in the Bill of Rights. Many of these rights and these amendments are still being discussed today. So the right to bear arms, like are there limits to what people can have as far as weapons? Congress cannot force citizens to house troops in their homes. That really is not an issue today. But even with the coronavirus restrictions, people are taking cases to court about the freedom of religion and the freedom of assembly and whether or not those restrictions are violating their First Amendment rights. So, and then the Fifth Amendment, these are rights for people who have been accused of a crime. And, the right to remain silent, that was from a Supreme Court case. And the idea that you would plead the Fifth, that someone could plead the Fifth or refuse to testify under oath, all goes back to the Bill of Rights. On to the Sixth Amendment. These are rights of people who have been accused of a crime. People have a right to a speedy trial. They can't just be kept in jail indefinitely. They have a right to a trial by jury. They have the right to know the charges against them and to confront their accuser. The Seventh Amendment allows for juries in civil or non-criminal trials. The Eighth Amendment, you can't have excessive bail or fines. These are issues that are in the news and in the government today. No cruel and unusual punishments are allowed. And the Ninth and 10th Amendments are just basically saying that the rights are not only what is listed in the Constitution, and that anything that is not listed for the national government or denied from the states is still kept for the states or the citizens. So these are the Bill of Rights. These are your basic rights here in the United States, and very famous and important and still being discussed and in the news today.